Specialist Corson, start record, article intake file number 8553, object, police evidence lot BB-2019-22. It is a little blue box with a bunch of plastic baggies with various things. Well, I did ask for ephemera. Description, let's see, there's like a lighter in here, some forks and knives. What is this, a Keno ticket? Okay. There's a plate with some sort of symbol on it. Let's see, I think it's like it's a pair of dice wearing crowns. Did someone eat off this plate? What? Oh my god, this bag has scrambled eggs in it. Gross. What is this from a casino buffet? Fuck. Alright, market is Bluff City, I guess. Jesus, half of this stuff is burned. What happened to it? Alright, there's a wallet in here. Let me get the tweezers. Alright, sub-description, wallet contents. ID, burned. Validated parking ticket, mostly burned. Eat fresh loyalty card. Okay, that is somehow totally fine. This is one of those electric key cards for a hotel room. I don't know this hotel. Momona, did a new place open up in Bluff City recently, or is this some sort of exclusive? 1 second. 1 second. Hey, what do you? No, you can't come in. Okay, whoa, slow down. It's not. Jesus. Hey. Welcome to Friends of the Table, an actual play podcast focused on critical world building, smart characterization, and fun interaction between good friends. I am your host, Austin Walker. You can follow me on Twitter at Austin_Walker, and today we are continuing our game of Lacuna by Jared Sorensen. Joining me, Janine Hawkins.
Hey, you can find me on Twitter at Bleating Heart.
Ali Akampora.
Hi, you can find me on Twitter at Ali_West.
Jack DeKeat.
Hi, you can find me on Twitter at NotQuiteReal and buy any of the music featured on the show at notquitereal.bandcamp.com.
And Keith J. Carberry.
Hi, my name is Keith J. Carberry. You can find me on Twitter at Keith J. Carberry. You can find the Let's Plays that I do at youtube.com/runbutton.
As I said, we are going to continue our game of Lacuna by Jared Sorensen, along with some elements of Tech Noir by Jeremy Keller. My agenda today is to make Blue City seem frightening, and also afraid, to fill the player characters' lives with intrigue and mystery, and to play to find out what happens. It has been a little bit since we recorded the last episode, which ended at a very high-stakes moment. So, before we start, I just want to look over the chart here, the cork board with all of our conspiracy connections, and go over what happened so far in this investigation. I think I went through after last recording and tightened some of this up, and added some color to note things that are connections we know exist, but that are not like quote unquote official in the relation in the thing. Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense? So, like, I have written down here, for instance, that Agent Seals is protective of Finnegan Hands, but that's not, like, part of the mystery. That's just a relationship that you have, and so it's important there, so it's in red instead of black. Can somebody else do the summary as I continue to cough and wait for this cough syrup to hopefully kick in soon, and talk about what happened last session?
Sure. I mean, I can just go over the notes that I gave
That would be
everybody, and
great.
people can kind of interject and ask questions. Because I kind of fast forwarded a little bit. But basically, so we're all here. We should look at the dossier actually, which is
You should look at the dossier.
We're at the festival right now.
we are at
Yes,
the
but you're-
festival
you're
right now. Yeah, we were
in-
sent here to find. We weren't sent here to find him because he's dead, but we were sent here to figure out who killed Blake Blossom, find the tape that was missing, and also
Yep.
like bring his killer to justice.
You got it.
We've been investigating it. We first went to a film festival, and it was like, oh, this movie's gonna play here. Then it isn't. Then it is. Then we went to the scene of the crime, and there was a guy there.
You, like, called the guy there, right?
Yeah.
That's when we learned that the teardrop coupe was at the scene of the crime.
Yes.
And what was the other big thing that we learned? We learned about the fingers guy.
The curator, who was like a
curator.
monster made of
Oh
hands,
yeah, the
who
awful.
killed Blake Blossom. And you see,
The curator killed Blake Blossom. The curator is a fingers monster.
The weird thing about the curators is that that it's also like a proper noun. Like it's a creature that we know. It was in our dossier, and it like seems to be in cahoots with the cultural exchange, or at least like it is a being that we know of that has its own like it doesn't
Agenda.
attack people in the night, right? Like it was targeting Blake Blossom. for
yeah,
a
it isn't
reason.
a monster in the sense of like it isn't a rabid wolf, right? What it does is it operates in the same sort of marketplace that Mr. BLE works in. A person who kind of like moves ideas between Bluff and Blue, and is kind of like a fixer and an informant and a shadow broker type character. The curator works in those same spaces, those same kind of gray areas, except instead of being a wheeler and a dealer, is someone who takes things. And so, you don't know necessarily. All you know is the curator was there doing that, and also that the agent that you ended up killing was there taking photos. Also, God, what was that guy's name?
Oh, no clue. Wish I knew.
Wish I knew too. I completely forget his name. There was another agent. But that's okay.
I remember what he looks like.
Yeah, same, big same. But
that
I
guy
remember
was a
he's
real.
dead, so.
He was a real piece of shit, right? He
Yeah.
was like, he was.
Yeah, he tried to kill you?
Yeah, he did, and he had
Or was it Allie?
He tried to kill both of us, I think, but he was gonna go take a swing at me, and by take a swing I mean shoot me with a gun.
Right. Take a swing at the trigger of a
He
gun.
had an incredible car that couldn't decide whether or not it wanted to be a car or a film developing darkroom, which was great. I previously thought that he just had a darkroom in the trunk of the car, but it was like legitimately connected to the back seat or whatever via a little tube.
Oh yeah, like
yeah.
films printed out into the back.
Into
seat.
the back seat of the car, which was very good. It's like the best place for a photo booth.
I think another important thing to note about his photos specifically is that he had like a ton of Blake. Like there was
Yes.
I don't remember how the like there was like a house in the distance that was like the only house in the area, and like there were specifically films of the moment of death that he had taken, and he had also been following Blake for like months and months, and those photos revealed that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, a person who showed up there was Mike Truck, who is Agent Hurd's, one of Agent Hurd's connections here, who seemingly lives right nearby in an unfinished house.
In like a
that
really
he's
weirdly
slowly
unfinished
finishing?
house, right? It's
Yeah.
like a sort of a doll's house kind of situation.
Yeah, he's like building it one room at a time and is already living inside. Like, building it to completion one room at a time. You know?
Like a perfectly finished living room, completely unfinished kitchen and dining area.
Yes, exactly. And he just seems to be kind of weird. The static increased, and he has now begun to kind of pop up in ways that are weird. What else? Y'all met up with Achilles Apollo.
Mm-hmm.
2 of you did, and Achilles. 2 of you went to meet up with Achilles Apollo. 2 of you went to one of the cultural trusts. I forget who was the pairings on those. I think it was
Keith and I went to the Cultural Trust.
Yeah, and then it
Yes.
was me and Janine.
Went to Achilles Apollo. In the cultural trust, you made the connection that like Blake, Hector, and Gail were all working together as filmmaking collaborators. And then with I don't know that Keith that Heard actually found the Hector stuff. I think you found the Blake side.
Yeah,
of it,
like
right?
I went off piste at that point, right? To be like, I'm gonna go try and find Hector.
To find the Hector
Yeah.
stuff, yeah.
And then Seals and Ryder, you two talk to Achilles Apollo and are going to try to get both him and Finnegan Hands out.
Mm-hmm.
I forget was that the promise made?
Yeah.
Unfortunately. Initially, we were like, we're gonna pretend to beat you up, and these people are just gonna think that we stole the tape.
Yes.
And then it was like, oh, I mean, if you're talented at the thing that you should do, you should just come home with us, and I'll figure it out. And then we called Finnegan and was like, hey, can you help us get Apollo out? And Finnegan was immediately like, I would like to go.
Yes.
To which Chris was like, yeah, sure. And that's a shoe that's gonna drop.
And then another shoe dropped, which before that one, which is you all went to meet up at the film festival. And while you were there, you, I guess Ryder, Allie, your character, handed off the Blossom tape to Gail Green. And she announced that Hector Who was here, and that he would show the film, Blossom's final film, which is called The Tunnel, and they did, and Hector ended up being like on the same veranda you were in, or on, sitting in, looking over this festival, where everyone, by the way, it's been hailing. There are loud like trumpets and horns as holiday carols are played from this like roaming huge parade that's been picking up steam, and the film played and revealed a third place, a place called Bluffington or Bluffington Beach, which seems to be a place, more material and cynical and grimy than Bluff City, and one freer and more chaotic and human and alive than Blue City. It is a place that Hector Who described as being the real world. And everyone here saw that, and it is causing a stir. And I think that was where we basically left off, right?
Yeah. I think the only last thing to mention and like really underline and explain is like all of the tension between the characters that are here at this point.
Yes.
Because I think it started with like Jack and my characters having this like affection and this relationship and this history with Hector, wanting to go in there to like find or save him as well as do the mission. Whereas Keith's character has this thing where it's like, if you find him, you should kill him or bring him in.
Right.
Yeah.
But
I technically know him better than anyone else here. He was my
He was your
mentor.
mentor.
Yeah.
And I'm basically on a trial mission to make sure I can handle being a real agent while also my mentor is like wanted.
Right. Like you're basically on like probationary senior agent duty, and if you succeed here, Agent Ward has told you will get a promotion. So if you do the things that you're supposed to do, you keep this thing on track, you will become a permanent senior agent, which is a big deal.
Yeah. And
any
while
questions about things?
Just one more thing is that while Seals isn't like super involved with the Hector thing, there's tension between y'all and Keith's character because of the like, should we kill this guy argument. That was
right.
also a place that like a lot of static occurred where it was like, we definitely shouldn't do that, and then Keith as the authority was like, no, I do this all the time.
Right.
If he has tried to kill us, he's gonna be dead now.
So much
And
so
there's
that no one remembers his name.
It's part of the static.
Yeah. You know what? Yes, no one remembers his name. Part of the static. The static does that shit sometimes. We should note static is at 15, which is high. I will remind everyone that once things hit 10 to 20, that's like medium static, and things start to get tricky. Once you hit 20, things get altogether truly wild, truly off the beaten path.
Well, the good news is I almost can't do anything useful anymore.
Good. Why is that true?
Well, because two of the agents have been working against me.
Yeah.
I decided to, or
You
I
decided
guess
to think
Squire-
really
not
hard about
Squire.
that envelope until your heart rate started pounding
Yeah,
through your
pretty
chest.
much. That's pretty much what it was.
Oh, right.
I was very, very suspicious until I couldn't breathe about the envelope that Ryder was handing to who's the curator? Not the curator.
Gail
the
Green.
curator.
Gail
The Gale Green.
Yes,
the
a curator in a different
yeah,
sense.
not the monster curator, the curator of this film festival. Yeah.
And what was
Right,
in
exactly.
that envelope?
The Blake
That
Blossom
was-
tape.
Yeah.
The
Oh,
Blossom
it was
tape.
more
that
like
we're
a-
not
okay.
supposed to show.
In my head, I was
That were
picturing a like a paper envelope rather than like a packet.
It's like-
so I was confused.
Yeah. The tapes where if I had gotten it, we could have left and won.
There's all sorts
No,
of ways
look,
to
there's lots
win.
of victory. Yeah.
Well, Agent Hurd's way of winning is doing the mission.
Right, that is definitely how he thinks. You are now at 183 heart rate. Your maximum is 190, which means you are not only past your ideal zone, your target zone, but you are nearing your maximum.
I have one more successful roll before I can't make any non-risky
Right,
rolls.
because you have to roll an 11 or greater to succeed at any given action, and you are less than 11 away from your maximum heart rate. The thing that ends up happening when you max out your heart rate again is that it makes physical rolls, basically things, force or instinct rolls, I believe, into risky rolls. And when you fail a risky roll, it reduces the relevant stat by 1.
Got it.
And so a risky roll, you can always have risky rolls. Combat, high-speed chases, falling off of a building, electricity, fire, stuff like that. Those are all risky things. But once you're at maximum heart rate, even small things become risky in that way. So, except for access. Access rolls are not that, but force and instinct rolls are automatically risky.
Yeah.
And you don't get to roll extra dice anymore, which is also an important thing. Let's go over everyone else's heart rate right now, so we all have a good sense of how stressed everyone is in this world. Agent Ryder.
Yeah. So my current is is that true?
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Is that true? Did you max out on this?
I did that to you. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So for just so that we remember how this all works,
It's like a game of chicken, right?
So basically, I can challenge and try to figure out what's going on, and then I can double down, and then you can decline to double down. You can decline my re-challenge and just forfeit, so that you don't have to re-roll. But you didn't do that, and we just kept rolling until you were at maximum heart rate, and I decided enough is enough.
Yeah.
I guess I didn't notice the thing
Yeah.
that I wanted to notice.
Yikes.
My-
Agent Ryder.
My current is 184. My maximum is 184.
Great.
And then while we're on it, I have a force of 2, an instinct of 4, an access of 3, and I have 4 commendation points.
And your talent is intuition.
Great. My talent is color.
I thought it was
I thought you meant the technique. Yeah.
Yeah.
My
Let's
technique
talk
is
about
color.
Agent Seals, aka Maggie Darcy.
All right. So my current heart rate is 133, I think. I don't know why I didn't just delete that 72. My maximum is 183, so I'm still doing pretty good. Got a lot of room
And you're
there.
in your target.
Yeah,
Your target
I'm
is
still,
93 to 138.
Yeah, I'm
so.
still in my target area. My force is 3, my instinct is 3, my access is 3, my talent is investigation, I have the techniques meditation and judge.
which means that you can actually reduce your heart
Yeah.
rate if you
And I
get
can
a
also
moment to
sniff out
breathe.
fucking liars.
Right. Judge means you can always sense a liar. Is that what it
Yeah.
is? Do you spend something for that, or does that just happen?
I have to spend a point, I think.
Okay, yeah, what requires that the agent spend a commendation point. Yep. Herd, do you want to give me your stats really quick, since we already did your heart rate, but...
Yeah, sure. I'm 3s in all 3s. And my techniques is endurance. And
I think identity also. You
identity,
have,
yeah.
That's how you know Mike Truck. It's how you, like, your name. You have an identity here.
Yeah, yep.
And you have
Were we going over anything
talent,
else?
which is hard to see because it is falling off of your sheet in a truly blue city.
Strategy is my talent.
Strategy.
Yeah. I did some changes today based on how I'm feeling about where we're
You've
at.
written the word Squire down in big italics. And
It was
gone.
there. It was regular size.
Okay.
I just made it really big.
Good. And finally, Agent Page, aka Florence Slowly.
My maximum heart rate is 170.
Mm-hmm.
And I currently have 128.
You're just past your target, which ended at 127.
Yeah, but I still have a ways to go before stuff starts getting really dicey, just a bit dicey.
Yeah.
And
you can meditate, right? So you can get that back down
yeah,
into the target if you want it.
Meditation
I can
raises
meditate
static,
at this
though.
film festival. Yeah, it does also raise static. We've seen Florence meditate before, and she just like closes her eyes and takes a deep breath as though she's very exasperated by what's happening around her. I have Force 4. My talent is aggression. I have Instinct 3 and Access 2. I have an additional talent, which is +1 gun. The gun
You
that
have that gun.
The gun
Yeah.
that I took from the man whose name we can't remember and
Cannot
maybe
remember.
never knew.
He must have introduced himself. I can
Oh,
imagine.
sure.
We
no,
knew we
I'm
had his
saying, I
name.
know we had his name.
Oh, yes,
We had
okay.
his name, but also I don't think we ever knew his name.
Right. Fair.
I don't know that Herd knows I have
Was
this
it-
gun.
Was it Sleeves?
It was
Oh
Sleeves.
shit! It was Sleeve.
That's a
Agent
great
Sleeves.
It was
name.
Agent Sleeves.
Good name.
But we don't remember that.
No. I have 2 techniques: meditation and documents. 2 techniques that I, Jack Keat, do not possess. And my contact is Gail Green, whom I feel respectful towards.
Great. So, where do we want to pick up?
Well, we just saw
The movie.
Hector.
And Hector.
No, we just saw Hector.
Both.
We saw the movie, and then we turned towards Hector, who's in the back, and I think that's where we faded out. It was just like we all look at Hector.
I just
say anything?
listened to this, and I already
No,
don't
Hector
remember.
didn't. Hector didn't say anything. I don't think. I think we just have this shot of him like standing there smiling, looking at what it is that he has done.
Yeah.
He's not in the projection booth. I don't think. I think he's like at the back of the cinema.
He's in the same veranda place that y'all
Well,
are in.
Did we recap
sure.
just now, and I missed it? What he has just done?
Played that
by the
movie.
way.
So
He
he's
played
played
the
the
movie.
tape.
Oh well, but like what the movie
Yeah,
was
Yes, that
about.
is- Go ahead.
So he puts the tape into the camera, the projector, the reverse camera, and the camera starts kind of crawling with these like bugs, right, Austin?
It's like the sound of bugs moving, yeah.
And I think we even get an image of sort of them crawling over the image that is being projected, and then we pass through a very, very long tunnel, a long dark tunnel. This spot of light kind of gradually grows, and then we find ourselves on a boardwalk, and Hector says like, "Welcome to Bluffington Beach," and he calls it the real world. And then we get just this shot of Hector wearing dark glasses standing at the back being like, "Yep, great."
Yeah.
This is all going according to
All
plan.
going to according to plan, yeah.
Oh, I think that other thing that I don't know if we mentioned in the recap, maybe we did and I missed it. I'm sorry if so. Was that Ryder and I clocked that specifically what is happening with this parade is that it's kind of like the Infinite Love movement, but for
Oh, yeah.
but for Blue City. It's like we looked at it and we were like, oh shit, this is what Hector's done it here as well.
Yes. As
Was that the Endless
that is
Jubilee
what
or
it's called.
something?
It's called the Endless Jubilee.
Endless
Its
Jubilee.
symbol is a ram's horn with an infinity symbol inside of it. So y'all are all on this like elevated. You're on like the outside balcony of this church, which has become the makeshift like VIP section for this festival. Hector is right there. People are, I think still aghast after that movie. I don't think it goes all the way Rite of Spring. I don't think there's like brawls in the crowd necessarily. But people are leaving. Some people are leaving. Some people are shouting like, "Play it again! Play it again!" Like very matter of fact demands. And there was just like this very intense energy in this moment, as if people have seen a crime on stage. What are you all doing?
I go to Hector. I don't know what I'm doing yet, but I'm going to Hector.
All right. Everyone else, we're going to get like the shot of what everyone is doing in this like split second.
Quick walking.
I'm following.
Same.
Yeah. Is what we get. Do we get his character is called Herd, right? Do we get Herd just like this very focused, quick walking towards Hector, and then these shared glances between the three other agents who just like fall into step behind him and start walking towards Hector?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I like that. I think Hector is like, so what do you think?
Can you remind me real quick what the specific criteria for... Is it that if I disobey a direct order, static goes up, or...
Static goes up for a lot of reasons.
It's one to do with authority, right?
There's a bunch of them, so I'm just
cool.
Gonna go over them for you really quick. It's when you fail a roll, the first time you fail a roll when attempting an action. It's when you use a technique except for seniority, which reduces static. It's when you're insubordinate to the lead agent or fail to perform an order. Then more comes when you get into conflict with each other. And when you encounter one or more crabmen. And then there's some additional ones. So like disobeying your overall goals. Your overall goals is assigned to you by the concern. Also inquiring into unrelated personalities or agents. So like digging around about Hector Who, for instance. And then anything that puts your identity as an agent at risk, so revealing your own real name or talking about Bluff City to people from Blue City.
Oh yeah, I fell for that one, didn't I?
Yeah.
Can we, just before things start in earnest, like what am I'm trying to find in the book, and this book sucks. It doesn't suck, but now that my heart rate is maximum, like what can and not do?
So everything the thing I'm going to advise is everyone just look at the cheat sheet that's in the sidebar.
Okay.
Because that just has everything in it, basically. So if you once your heart rate enters or maxes out, or is it when it exceeds it, or is it when it matches it?
It hits it. It hits it and stays there.
Okay.
So my max is 190, and once I get to like if I'm at 183, and if I roll 15 or whatever, then it'll hit 190 and stay there.
Okay. So, you are always considered to be performing a risky action, which means that you failing on a risky action reduces the related die or stat by 1 die. If that hits 0, if force drops to 0, you must make an emergency access roll to eject from Blue City, or else not come back at all. The way the book writes it is die on the slab. If an agent's instinct drops to 0, you must immediately make an emergency access roll to eject or suffer severe trauma and be forced to retire from this line of work. The access is not risky roll, so that thankfully it doesn't like double down in that way. But basically just like anything you're rolling for at this point is extremely rough.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure how far I am away from ejection.
Yeah. I mean, the big thing to remember is that as those stats are going down, it becomes harder and harder for you to actually even succeed. Do you know what I mean? Like rolling force is already really hard for you to get a success on because you only have 2 dice. You know?
Yeah. Well, I already did the thing to impress my hero, so I'm fine.
Right. Yeah. Fair.
Okay.
So I think so Hector says so what'd you think?
Can I just as we're approaching him just shout Hector run?
Sure. You can of course do that.
I feel like I've been thinking about the phrasing of this. I feel like we're probably looking at a one static situation here.
Saying that is absolutely static.
I don't think it's more than one static. I'm not disobeying a direct order.
You're not in conflict unless.
Nor am I being insubordinate.
I would disagree that this is not a direct
It's a direct order for
I have
you.
not been.
I feel like
I have not been given a direct order. A direct order would
been privileged info.
Yeah, that is your direct order heard. The distinction is, I think the distinction here is that like this is disobeying this is that third category I talked about, which is refusing to bring in a target, inquiring to blah blah blah. That's it's one static. What would make it more is if this became a conflict between people. But
or if I said my name, I considered saying it's Florence, run, but that's also
yeah, no. So yeah, if you shout that, then yeah, I think what we get is like, in my mind, there's lots of close-ups on just eyes here. Right?
Oh
it's
yeah,
just, like, eyes
absolutely.
catching each other and then we get. What I almost want is like the close-up on Florence's eyes, and then you go Hector run, and we get like this like sudden sharp zoom out to see the entire scene, and I think, man, does he run?
Oh, did we add the static?
No, we didn't. I'll do that now. We have to decide what happens with that, too. So that's 16 static, which is not good. I think as soon as you do that, there is just like the ringing of a 24 telephones spread throughout this entire place. Like there are waiters who arrive with phones on plates down below. There's just like there's cacophony of ringing things, ringing phones, and I don't think it's in his nature to do it. So I think for you to convince him to run would be an instinct roll.
What's my instinct?
Because he knows three of the four of you. Do you know what I mean?
He does.
Thinks he is in control of or who knows? I don't know that he even knows that he's in control of the situation. He's done the thing,
and also the version of the CAP was the one of Hector was the one who was like, they're coming for me. I'm a big conspiracy man. I gotta watch my back. Like,
yeah, though part of that is probably also in who he is like.
Sure, I mean, I suppose
yes, you're not wrong.
If three people walked towards me who I recognized, and one person who I didn't, and one of the people who I recognized shouted, "Jack, run!"
Yeah,
I'd probably run, but I'll make the roll. I'll make a roll to try and convince him.
Yeah, I think you have to. He is this fucking secret agent. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, totally.
Does he recognize you though? Because you don't have a relationship with him, right? I mean, you do obviously, but that's not like your contact.
No.
What if I say not to run?
That's
1
so
to 1.
good. That's very funny of two secret agents being like, "Run away! Do not run."
The thing is, like, this quickly would become a contested role.
Yeah,
which we can go through if that's where this is going. But like,
I can't. I don't think I literally can.
Also, there's probably more interesting conflict than debating in front of someone whether or not they should run away.
They should run away. Exactly.
I'm not gonna roll or contest it, but I am saying like, no, Hector, don't run.
I think what he does is like the most Hector thing, which is like says like, "I hope you enjoyed it." Finishes a drink and then turns and quick walks down the stairs.
It's like the slower version.
He isn't running.
It's the slower version of that great
what
moment.
Stairs? I thought we were outside.
You're on the second floor of a church. You're on the veranda
okay.
overlooking the people who are watching it. You're like on a balcony, basically.
Yeah,
why did I think we were in a park?
You are. The church is in the middle of the park.
Yeah.
The film festival is outside. Her office was downstairs in the church. She led you up here to watch the film from up here, where like it's a VIP section, basically. So yeah, that is what he does.
Just vanishes down some stairs.
Yeah, it's like moves past
not on
some
a
people.
run, but like intently.
I think we get a shot of him like picking up and hanging up a phone, like just all from one of the one of the waiters like serving trays. He picks up a phone and just hangs it back down on the receiver, or
Yeah, this
receiver
has
and
like
hangs it
a
back up.
real Spider-Verse action movie vibe to me in terms of just like the strange cuts and the like people moving in opposite directions, breaking the line of action, like a bunch of weird stuff going on.
I'm following.
Yeah, totally.
I want to try to like but we were talking. What were we talking about? Like the Sorkin walk and talks. What was that about? What were we
What
referencing?
were we talking about with that?
We were talking about
That's a
the
thing. That's a
Hyron.
Hyron thing.
Yeah,
Yes.
in the
So like
under the island.
Yeah.
So I haven't seen a lot of Sorkin. Do they ever do those? Are those ever under duress?
Sure.
Is anyone ever walking and talking?
He's made a lot of shit, you know.
But can you imagine? Like, I'm not like threatening to hurt anybody, but I definitely am like grabbing his shoulder and walking fast and talking and grabbing his shoulder.
Yeah, I think this is an instinct to keep up with him and to not lose him in the crowd. Do you know? I think
this is my last roll. I need this.
So what is your instinct? Your instinct is 3?
3.
Yeah, I think that this is instinct. Unless you're
10.
Oh, buddy. Let's raise your static or raise your heart rate. Cap that out. Yeah, I think unless you want to re-roll this. Also, 1 static goes up again because you failed a roll. You're gonna lose him in the crowd. He's just gonna disappear into it. The chaos of having shown that film is so much.
14.
All right, so good job having not failed that one. All right, so then you push through. Hold up, because now so static's at 17. So the thing that happens when static hits 17 is that they do what the people downstairs were yelling about. They do start to play the film again. And this time, whoever is running the projector has like broadened the lens or moved it back so that it's not just projecting on the screen, it's projecting on like the buildings that line the avenue that separate it from the park. So you move through the crowd, you keep up with him, you catch him as he's walking down an alley or walking down into the avenue to try to disappear into the night. But let's go back to the veranda. What are the rest of you doing as this is happening? Are you also giving chase? Are you also
I kind of
dispersing?
I wanted to give someone a space there, but I kind of want to like get lost in the crowd to like not leave Herd and Hector alone, like by any means, but to like be far away enough that I can intervene, like with Herd thinking that he's alone. You know? Does that make sense?
Yeah, so I think that he is so Hector is basically moving through the crowd and then cutting out through the park to get back to an avenue where I guess the parade is still probably happening out there actually. So which means like the movie is also displaying on the side of these giant floats. And is like out on the avenue side now. So yeah, I'm gonna say like, you can go out that general direction, but like I think like staying hidden at this point would be staying hidden, but within range would also need to be a roll, which is an instinct check.
Okay.
I'll note that you have. What do you have on instinct? All right, yeah, that's
Should
your
I
thing
roll
right there.
3d6 or is it -1 of the result?
It's neither of those. It's 46. The thing is that if you fail, you'll lose instinct.
Oh, okay.
Permanently.
Okay.
It'll drop to 3.
Okay.
But you don't fail. Nice work. So it's a 12. So yeah, you're able to keep up with them. And I'll say that like if Agents Seal and Paige, if you want to stay with Ryder on this, you can do that. Like this could be a group roll to stay together and like keep up basically. But if you want to do something else, you can do something else.
I'm fine following. I think for me at this point, it's a big thing of like, Maggie doesn't have a particular attachment to Hector Who. Her attachment here is like a sense of rightness. So it, I think, makes the most sense for her to follow a lead rather than to like really, really leap in and make big calls.
Good call. And Paige.
As a player, I'm interested in. Do we have a copy of the film?
No, the copy is the one that's playing.
Okay.
As far as you know, that's the copy of the Blossom tape.
Sure.
The tunnel.
Sure.
And
No,
like
I
to
think
the point that it was like stolen and someone was murdered over it, right?
Yeah, there's not like a secret one somewhere else. Like it's important for it to be the one.
right. Yeah, I think that as much as I would be interested in acquiring that copy, I think that it would be dishonest to Florence's character to have her just be like, "Well, I won't, Hector. I did my bit.
Yeah.
Time to go try and steal this film again that's playing." So no, I think I'm joining. I'm joining.
So then, yeah, I think you manage then, what we get is the shot of the three of you coming out of the park, seeing Agent Hurd kind of grab Hector by the shoulder and spin him around. The Infinite Jubilee, the Endless Jubilee is happening right next to you, right? Like, and there are people out in the streets, some of whom are watching the movie and some of whom are watching the parade. And the parade music is incredibly loud. And so Hector turns around and is like, Hurd, everything's fine. You can tell them the mission was a success.
How can I tell them that?
I got away, but you solved the crime.
That was, I honestly think less than a third of what they wanted.
They always want more, Hurd.
Is that place real?
The most. Nothing realer. I should imagine we're probably not whisper voices because there's like loud music playing. So nothing realer. Do you want to go?
I don't know what else to do about knowing.
Me either. That's why all of this. It was the only thing that made sense. Couldn't keep it to myself.
How do you get there?
Let's go. It's a short drive.
It's a drive?
It's a tunnel.
You can drive there?
He nods.
All right, let's go.
I think he turns and looks at the rest of you.
They're coming.
Yeah, at this not being violent or like the altercation that Chris feared, I think that she's like fine to like approach the group now, and not be hidden in the shadows of an alley.
Yeah. He looks at the rest of you and he goes, good to see you. And Seals, I've heard good things about your work.
I think Maggie just like stares. Like I don't think she knows. I think she knows what to do with that in the context of like her sitting in someone else's office and they're like putting stamps on stuff or whatever. I don't think she knows what to do with that right now. I think she just kind of stares with like wider than normal eyes.
We're gonna need a car.
Did we steal that guy's car?
I thought we did.
We split up. Yeah, one of us took the ride home. The other group
Right.
took the car, I think.
All right, so yeah,
We have a photo lab we can take.
he's like, sleeves? But you can't hear what he says. It just bleeps out, or it doesn't. The sound of a trombone plays too loud to hear the name that he says.
Oh, right, the parade. I was like, what?
I know what he meant. I know what he means.
Yeah. So yeah, you can go to the car.
Is it just everybody, like, is it us three piled in the back seat, and Hurd and Hector Who up in the front?
I guess.
Yeah.
It's tight. I'm also raising static because Hurd is disobeying a direct order. This is about as direct as I can get. This is it. And the thing that happens is there is a new float in the parade, and no one seems to notice it but you. And it's not just in one parade; it's in all of the parades. It is an amalgam of countless hands, fingers intertwining with each other, connected to strings being held by members of the parade. And wherever you go, it begins to follow. And it's writhing up there in the sky. The curator is coming for you.
Are they going to be okay? The
They don't
city?
even... you're asking Hector?
Yeah, I'm asking in character.
He's
sorry.
like, they're going to be better than they've ever been.
Right. And I think she like immediately relaxes.
Does he see the curator?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, that's what I figured.
Hector, who always sees the curator. Like,
Yeah. Well, I knew that he didn't come in here with us,
Right,
but he's
no,
been here.
Yeah. So you're in the car. You can, if people want to meditate, this starting to drive. Hector is behind the wheel and it's like totally gripped. Actually, no, he isn't. He's going to direct you where to go. I think he's going to sit in the passenger side. And I imagine he's like working on something. I imagine it's like, what's like a hand thing he could be doing? I don't know if he's typing, or like.
He could have one of those weirdo pocket compact stenographers that I have.
Yeah. I want it to be something more craftsy. Like, it's not folding origami, but like, it's the sort of motion you make when rolling a cigarette. Do you know what I mean? It's like
crochet,
maybe he's doing
a little piece of crochet, or
could be doing a little.
Maybe
crochet.
it's like one of the hand fortune tellers.
But he's making one. That's what he's doing. It's one of those, but he's making it, and it's very complex.
Yeah, he's doing the folds.
And like writing out things on it, and then like doing it, and then like no, and tears it up and does another one. You know.
I was just picturing
I
him
remember
him writing like, "You will talk to your crush at lunch."
Yeah. Perfect.
I remember hearing a story that it's almost certainly apocryphal that Isambard Kingdom Brunel, the British structural engineer, the Victorian structural engineer, could draw a perfect circle in the back of a horse-drawn carriage. And I love that he's making folds like this.
Yeah.
Like, I imagine that he's discarding these things, but he's not discarding them because he made a sloppy fold. He's discarding it because he disagrees with what he wrote in one of the little pockets
the
or
fortunes
whatever.
were wrong.
Yeah,
Exactly.
he's like folding
I put all the right words, but I put them in the wrong fold.
Yeah.
It was supposed to get a different one.
And he's directing you to drive out towards the thicket. If people want to do other things, like, now is the time to start bringing things up. Also, if you want to meditate while in the back seat.
I mean, but there's static involved with that.
There is.
And we're in a real bad way now, Austin.
That is, I've noticed. Also, like, Seals does not need to meditate particularly badly, so neither of you desperately need to, so that's probably fair. Seals are paid.
I think Seals is just smoking.
Yeah, the two people that can meditate are the two that don't really need to yet.
Yes. So Seals is smoking. Mm-hmm.
I just want to ask, like, you probably shouldn't tell us this yet, but like, are we going to be interacting with static when we're at the place we're going to? Do we think that we will as characters?
Who could say?
Okay.
Did you see your trial?
No. Heard about it. I'll find any excuse. Turn left up here. Any
That's
sound,
a blinker.
any sound. You can do any sound. He's guiding you towards the highway, basically.
It was a convincing trial.
It always is with them. They've been known to change the law so they'll win their cases.
Almost everyone you even looked at is gone. Or demoted, or...
Except you. You're up for a promotion.
Yeah. Well, I told them I'd bring you back.
Is that where we're going? Or are we going
No.
to Bluffington?
Buffington. I turned left. You said turn
You
left.
turn left. How's my nail doing? He looks back at the back seat. He's referring to the kind of the alternate version of him, the radio host he left behind.
Oh, I think he said mail.
How's my mail? Did you get my mail?
I did. I did get the mail.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not so good, Hector.
Dead. Nail's dead.
Right, but it was a good one. Convincing.
Oh, yeah.
Ryder?
Nail.
Oh, the host, the DJ, the radio host.
That's you.
Must have been a good one.
Mm.
He's so unperturbed about... I suppose I guess I'm going to ask him. It doesn't bother you that you died? You were murdered.
I was murdered there, so I wouldn't be murdered here.
Okay. I thought you died, Hector.
We all did.
Are you looking for an apology?
Maybe.
No.
What? No.
It just wasn't easy, is all. But we're fine. In the other city.
Yeah. If you come to me with this place, I don't know that you can go back.
You came back?
I came back here. I don't know if they'll let any of you back.
We can't go back home?
Not if you come to Bluffington. I don't know. Why would they want you back?
Who would stop us?
Them. You. They'll send more. And while Herd's loyalty is compromised, they'll send someone...
Hey. Please.
Not to me, to them. I'm not so sure the next person they send after us will be the same. If they know we go there, they will not be rolling the red carpet out for y'all.
Do they know that this place exists?
Of course.
They do?
How long have they known for?
Florence, I think they're from there. Not you, not me, but top level. We're echoes of this place. Of Bluffington. They're the water dropping in the pond.
Is it far?
It's the furthest place there is. About 45 minutes.
So we're in Europe.
Yeah. He's like, the exit 7. To like direct her to drive to exit 7. And he's like driving you out towards the thicket, basically, and is directing you down a bunch of, basically you're going to end up driving past a bunch of suburban, complexes and out deeper and deeper into the thicket to where there starts to be a little bit of water again. This kind of place where the desert meets the wetland. Does anyone else have things to do before we get to this tunnel?
Can someone meditate for me?
If only that's how it worked. That'd be a good high-level thing, like group meditation technique.
That is a thing, I think.
It must be, right?
That's
like
what you...
technique.
So there's a senior move that does that, but you said I couldn't have
That's
it.
right.
That's right.
Well, it does something else, which is it like raises your personal stat.
Personal static.
I think that one reduces static. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, I thought maybe there's both, but I could just be...
Maybe.
I guess. I think there's like a really long time of silence because I don't think that like Chris is like super comfortable talking right now. But I think that like when it's getting closer and closer to them getting to the city and it's like less and less sure that like they're gonna get back, like that's kind of sitting in. I think that she's like, do you have any contacts back in Blue that you trust that we can get in touch with?
I think you've moved through my circle already. Gale. Achilles. Finnegan.
I made the two of them a promise to bring them home.
Oh. Oh, you did.
They want to go back.
No, fair. This place is terrible. They want to go back. What day is... and he, looks down at the fortune-telling papercraft thing he's made. They want to go back. Are you bringing them? Or do they need to go alone?
You told me we can't go back. And if that's true...
You could take them to the door. Or you could... It's not too late. We could stop the car. I could get you a ride back to them. You could go back. But not after.
And not go with you?
I'm just putting the options on the table. Chris.
I'll take them back.
We'll take
You
them
don't
back.
Okay.
I have a daughter?
Right, of course.
I'm not gonna... There are a lot of ways that I haven't been the best mother. Our basement was haunted for a long time.
Pull over by the canal.
But I will not, if I don't know that I can't come back,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go. I'm sorry.
No apology necessary. I was surprised you wanted to come to begin with.
Well, I haven't been the best mother.
You said that.
Right.
So do you pull over near the canal, Herd?
Yeah, I pull over.
So there is a canal that's been dug out. It's it's like the LA River Canal. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like
Sure.
pavement and huge.
Beautiful river. It's a beautiful river.
Beautiful. So here's the thing: where you're at here, it's almost like it's the sea more than the river inside of the canal. It's like lapping up at the concrete at a certain point, like with waves. And he's like, "All right, I'm gonna make this call. I'll get you back into the city. Anyone who wants to go with me can stay here. Anyone else can go back with the two of you. Herd, seals, you just let me know." He says, "I need there's a phone in the dash, right?" He picks up the phone and makes a call. And he says something in coded language, like 2 or 3 doves near the windsock. All right, and he hangs up.
Chris definitely feels like a responsibility to go back, but also really doesn't want to.
Mm-hmm.
And if there's it's that moment, if a character is able to recognize that and be like, no, it's okay, then that's fine. But if no one's making that choice, then...
I mean, I could go... You don't need to come with me. You can stay here.
I think Seals looks at Paige I imagine her looking they're still wearing the veils, but over her glasses through the veil to be like, "Are you gonna take care of Finnegan?"
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try. None of us want to be here. I don't want to stay here in Blue City. I know Finnegan doesn't.
Just say yeah.
Right, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think she just settles back in the back seat. Lights up another cigarette.
Yeah.
Maggie Darcy ain't give a fuck.
Mm-hmm. You should get your story straight before you all leave, or before you separate.
Tell the curator got us.
Will they be able to corroborate that?
It's believable.
It's believable.
I can do that.
We can lay low, and I mean, the big picture. The concern can't be the only people who do this stuff anymore. There's got to be someone else who can move between these places eventually and start shifting things. And we got to look into Bluffington. We got to know what that place really is. So that's what I'm going to be doing. And those of you staying here, I would love your help. Gail's on board. Blake was on board.
Florence, do you think you can do this safely?
No. No, not at all. But I can try. I have a gun. I know that...
Let me see that.
I just hand it over, just like a matter of fact.
He, ejects the clip and tosses it into the canal, and then takes one of his own and adds it back. He, ejects the one bullet and adds it back, and then hands it back to you. This doesn't change anything. The stats aren't changed, but they're his bullets instead of Sleeves' bullets.
Yeah. Thank you. I know how to... Oh, I suppose I don't. Hector, how do I...
Please don't say what I think you're going to say.
No, how do I contact
Okay.
Bluff City?
You know how to do that. Oh, do you mean, do it? How do you mean this?
I want to be able to talk to my daughter.
Okay.
If what Hector is saying is true, which is that physically getting me back is going to be really hard.
You going back...
I think that's only if you go to Bluffington.
Yeah, the thing is
Oh,
that
really?
if
I
you go
thought
to
it was
Bluffington, it will be very hard because they will know you've gone to Bluffington and you will be able to
Sure,
like
they'll
that.
just be able to, in the same way that it's if you open up an iPod, Apple will be like, oh, someone opened this up.
Yeah.
So we're not going to give you any help. Okay, so I suppose... Do you think you'll be able to contact us?
Yeah. Paper only, writing only. No calls. Calls are bad.
From Bluffington?
Oh, I can get between here and Bluffington, no big deal. It's a tunnel. You drive the tunnel.
Okay.
Why is Bluffington closer to Blue?
So here's the thing. I think it's just as close to Bluff. We just haven't found it yet. Or, the concern certainly has.
Yeah.
But I found it here, and I'm here now.
Mm-hmm. Like a streetlight casting two shadows.
Yeah. And maybe I shouldn't have gone. Maybe I should have found the tunnel and come home and reported it and gone about my business. But I've always been one to ask questions. I don't like it when people hide things. Big things, especially.
Hector, it was nice meeting you.
You're going.
I made a promise to those two. And you should call me if you can.
I can't
If you ever
call.
get the chance.
I can write you. I'll write you.
Okay. Okay. It was nice meeting you.
You would help a lot if you stayed. Just think about it. Go help them. Before you leave, you call me.
I think she taps her watch and then
Yeah.
opens the door to the car.
Okay, Hector. Thank you for the help.
Be safe.
I'll be in touch. Heard?
Yeah.
I'll see you around.
Later.
Seals, it was good to meet you. Alright, well, I think that's about that.
You should quit, by the way.
What?
The concern. I just wanted to make sure you should quit.
I've heard they really love quitters.
Oh, no, I'm not doing this anymore.
Yeah.
I'm-
I thought,
No.
but I just wanted to be explicit about it. You should quit.
I'm gonna go into plumbing or something. I'm gonna go into carpentry. You ever look at how these things work and I'm like, I don't fucking know how a toilet works? I'm gonna be the person who learns.
It's not that hard. It's a great skill.
Which one?
Carpentry and plumbing. It's basically the same. Don't worry about it.
Trade skills. They're really recession proof.
All right, well, good luck.
And at that moment, there is like the sound of a loud fan, and like a buzzing, and a like river boat, like a not a hovercraft, but like a swamp boat, pulls up.
Oh, with one of those big fans at the back?
One of the big fans at the back pulls up to the edge of this canal. It doesn't come all the way up because it doesn't have there isn't enough like depth in the water, but it like comes up and you could wade out to it. And there's just like a woman with bright orange hair tied back, and like a pair of overalls and like a a red checkered shirt on underneath. And she,
oh my god, it's
waves
Sandra
to
Hamilton.
y'all. It's her. She showed up. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and I think Florence just takes off. Just takes off towards the boat.
Just walks with her pants right into the.
Just goes splashing into the water. Takes a moment to like steady herself against the waves. Like reaches up to grab the hand of the lady on the boat. Kind of hoists herself on.
Real quick, I think Hector hugs you both before you go.
Does he get out of the car? Is this like a full hug, or is this like a car hug?
I actually imagine most of this conversation is out of the car, actually, as you wait for this boat to show up.
I think we definitely got a bit of the awkward conversation of people in the front of the car talking to people in the back in a stationary car, which is great. And then we were like, "No, fuck this."
I think at some point Hector's like, "Oh, I think it'll be here soon," and it was not there soon. Like that was like him getting out of the car.
Yeah.
But yeah. Yeah, and Ryder, you go too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You two head back down with this riverboat driver down back into the city, and like you can see all of the parade floats, including the various curator floats, all throughout the city as you start heading back. He's basically told this person to drop you off wherever you need. I think you had said that Achilles and Finnegan should like meet up, right? Were you meeting up at Finnegan's apartment or something?
Yeah, the like specific thing was that Finnegan was helping Achilles hide.
Right.
And then we were gonna go pick him up, and then Finnegan was like, "Okay, but take me."
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then, like I think maybe appropriately. I mean, Finnegan's been working as like a chauffeur, right? Is that what I wrote down?
No, Santa, right?
Santa, right? A Santa, not a chauffeur. Then God, I think you're gonna have to. Fuck. I think you're gonna go to his apartment. I think that makes the most sense. I think that's like you're going to be dropped off near a bus that will take you towards his apartment, basically. So we just get like, we're going to get a montage of y'all being on this boat and then eventually getting to the bus station or the bus pickup. But for Herd and Seals, you get back in the car. And he says like, "All right, are you ready?
Yeah.
Drive us into the canal."
Into the water of the canal with the car?
Mm-hmm.
Got it. And I do it.
And like he directs you to drive behind and then under the boat. He's like, roll up all the windows.
I roll them up and they're manual windows.
Just gotta
like
like lean
'em.
back.
So, I was like, Seals, can you get the back left? Okay. Thanks. And the car sinks and drives forward, and you can just see that there's a tunnel under here. And you're like underwater for 15 seconds. And then it's as if you're then just like you pass through the water and are in the tunnel, and it is fine. You're driving down a long, dark tunnel that has like flickering fluorescent lights. And like those kind of like white tile walls that are chipped away and haven't been kept up, and it is dark and scary. And you're driving through. Where do we want to go? Who wants to see what's on the other end of this shit first?
I would like to see.
All right, so you pass through the tunnel, and you emerge. You kind of like emerge from this little tunnel, and you're on a highway. And the highway, like you're on like an on-ramp to a highway, and you get onto the highway, and like there's New Jersey license plates, and cars that Keith, you, and Janine, you, and everyone on this call and I are familiar with. And you're outside in the...
Oh, hey, it's a Nissan Altima.
It's a Nissan Altima, exactly. It's a Honda Civic. And you're in this old weird thing that now is like, oh yeah, it's a Lincoln Town Car. You wouldn't have been that inside of Blue.
Right.
And there's casinos, and there's some like shops. You kind of merge with traffic, and there's like a stoplight, and there's like some tourists walking around with bags. They're like from like the Nike store, and there's like a big fountain, and there's some people eating ice cream. It's like a sunny day, and it's Bluffington Beach, which is, for all intents and purposes, Atlantic City. And like, I think Hector's like, all right, so you're gonna need to just drive up. There's a casino up here. That one, he points. I was like, go get one of the parking tickets. We'll park. We'll walk around. And he's just like directing you to go park in a parking lot, like one of those like stand-up ones. You know what I'm talking about? Like like 10-floor tall ones that are attached to a hotel or a casino.
Yeah, like a
and like
part, like a garage.
Yeah, and he does, and he directs you there, and then like, you know, it takes a little time to find a spot. You find the spot. It's kind of like dusty and dirty, but like you can hear traffic outside. You can smell the ocean water, the salt water. You can hear seagulls. Where do you want to go first?
I could eat.
This place has a good buffet.
It has a good buffet?
It has a good buffet. Surprisingly good.
Yeah, let's go to a buffet.
All right. And yeah, I think we just like cut from there back to the boat. The boat drops you off. You get on the bus. The bus drops you off outside of Finnegan Hand's apartment, which I think is like a 4th floor walk up. You know, or actually no, it's not, because this is like more like Los Angeles than New York. So I actually think it's like a tiny like ranch house, out like just like not quite the Thicket, like the kind of one of the more tight, cramped suburbs, and it just drops you off out front, and the two of you can, like, I guess we just get you like at the door. What do you do?
Have I met Finnegan?
No.
I also haven't met Achilles.
No, neither of you have met Finnegan.
Yeah, I've met Achilles.
You've met Achilles. You've promised Finnegan this thing.
So can I, just for the sake of narrative, call Ryder Chris at this point? Or would that incur static?
I think at this point, I'm going to say it's fine. But like, there are things that will still happen. Like, we're at 18 static right now.
Sure.
That 18 is going to become 19 and 20 because of things happening. Like, probably.
I just want to make sure that it's not
stumble into
that I don't stumble into it. You're like, oh shit.
No, and I think part of it is you're a little off the grid now. Like,
yeah, totally.
You're split into two. Herd is gone. They've kind of lost you in the thicket, so to speak. Well, not literally the thicket, but
I think that presumably the handlers, in whatever capacity they can monitor active agents, are just like, what the fuck is going on?
Mm-hmm. Totally.
Okay,
I
Chris.
think you're kind of like you're so far gone that like saying the word Chris isn't enough. Like, aha, hey, now use your real, don't use your secret agent names. Like, no,
yeah, exactly.
Like, they know that shit is going on, and they're trying to quickly trying to activate some things to. Yeah, go ahead.
It's yeah. Okay, Chris, what are we doing?
It's fun. Apollo knows this man who helped him, but he also wants to leave. So, 2 birds, 1 stone.
Okay, we're gonna get them both out.
Yeah. I mean, Apollo's a great guy. He, moves between people, gets jobs done. I figured he would be good for the concern, but at least, I mean, home is enough, so it's fine.
Right.
And I think she just knocks on the door.
And I think you get Finnegan Hands, like, opening the door, like, peeking through, opening the door with the chains on it. and is like, I expected Maggie.
Um.
Also, he's absolutely in Santa costume, minus the beard and the hat.
Do I even know the name Maggie? I don't think that I do.
No.
It's so good. This is the first time you're just like, well, fuck.
I think Chris is still like, the other agents are preoccupied. My name is Agent Ryder. It's nice to meet you.
He like snakes a hand out through the chained door to shake your hand, and then brings it back in.
I'm Agent Page.
Ryder and Page closes the door, and he goes like, "Yo, a Ryder, Page," and Apollo is like, "Yeah, Ryder's good," and like then you hear the chain unlock. I think you probably heard him re-bolt the door when he closed it too. 3 bolts, clunk, 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 clunk. Open the door, and he's like, "Come on in." Jack, what's Finnegan Hands' place look like?
Oh God. It's like fine, and I use fine like. I've lived in a lot of places that are the sort of fine that I'm talking about here, right? Where it's just like, it's messy, but it's the mess that is accumulated through effort that is being spent elsewhere rather than negligence. There is like a lot of takeaway containers, but there's also evidence of cooking. It's like Finnegan has been trying to cook.
Right.
But hasn't had the time or hasn't felt like it. There is a record player, and there are 16 records, some of which are duplicates.
Right.
Just like multiple copies of like, I don't know, fictional bands, of like multiple copies of like, a C tier Joni Mitchell record or something. There is a desk. There is a Santa costume in a plastic bag on the floor. It's one of those just sort of sit down anywhere rooms. The sort of room where you walk in and the first instruction you get given is sit down anywhere. It's one of those.
And I think that's exactly what he does. He goes like, sit down anywhere. And Achilles is like, so, what's the plan? How are we getting out of here?
There's a door. Agents use a lot of ways, but there's a door, and I mean, you'll have to lay low on the other side for a little bit. But for all intents and purposes, you'll be home.
All right, when do we go? I'm ready. We had a big meal, and Finnegan's like, I made fish and chips. Yeah, he fried some. It was good. And Finnegan's like, let me just I have to finish packing a few things, and I'll be ready. And, like, hurries into his bedroom and.
What are you packing?
Clothes. What are like the 5 things he cares about? Clothes. He has like a little bowling trophy which unrelated. He just started bowling again here. There's a bowling league trophy here, and it says bowling league trophy on it. What else? A portable one of those portable fishing rods, like the ones that like you keep on a belt in a little pouch, and then you know what I'm talking about? Like garbage made on TV type thing.
Yeah, totally. It's that someone is like, do you want to fish anywhere?
Exactly. Yeah.
And for just like one moment, you're like, holy shit, yes, I want to fish anywhere. And that's how they get you.
Yeah. Well, here's the difference. For Finnegan, that was not one moment.
No, Finnegan.
That was many moments.
Finnegan committed hard to the idea of fishing.
He saw the ad,
anywhere.
He thought about it, and yeah, exactly. And those are probably the 3 big things. He's like a brown suitcase. Like a hard suitcase, and he's changed into like a suit, but kind of a raggedy old suit. Achilles does not have anything with him. He is very much of the mind that he will find what he needs on the other side.
Yeah. I think Chris says, like, pack light. You don't know how things change in the transfer.
Got it, says Finnegan, holding his suitcase. So I think what I need from y'all is like an access roll to find your way out.
Okay.
Right? That is
Which of us has the best access?
Chris, but she's also at maximum heart rate.
Mm.
But you can't lose. You know what? You can't lose access. You can't lose access on it. It's not a risky roll. So.
Yeah, if you want to maybe pick up some of these other roles in the future, I'll do the access one.
Yeah, no, totally, 100%. I like this a lot because we've got this image of these acquaintances, one of whom is just like panicking, or at least your heart is really, really going.
Mm-hmm.
And it feels like this very natural like brokering of responsibility to just be like, okay, fuck, right, I'll do this,
Mm-hmm.
but let me do something in future. Also, I love how you talked in the last episode, right, Ali, about how you were making sure you were metering Chris's voice because of where she comes from. I realized that the side effect of this is that you sound like a fucking Silent Hill 2 NPC, and I love it. It's so good.
That is true. God.
Finnegan was like, how are we going to get out? And you were just like, there is a door. Which is just like, yeah,
right.
sure.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
God. So you failed. You got a 9, which is not good.
And this system doesn't have aid interfering quite the same way, does
no,
it?
it doesn't.
We hacked in, yeah.
I am going to make sure that... 1 second, let's see. Alright, so...
Isn't there a way to add a die to a roll by spending a commendation point?
That's a good question.
I would hope so.
I bet you would hope so. I think it uses commendation points. Techniques, influence, every commendation spent in this yeah, absolutely, with access. So every combination point in this matter adds +1 to any access logistics or access intelligence roll made by that agent. This bonus may be applied after the dice are rolled. It is not added to the agent's heart rate. So yes, you can spend a combination point to add one more roll.
Okay,
one
so
more
I'm just...
die.
I remembered that.
Thank you.
Yeah, me fucking too.
1d6,
So-
right? And we'll just add it to the result?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that is enough. That's a 3. So that goes from a 9 to a 12.
Just barely, right?
Yeah, just barely. Exactly, just barely. I think what this looks like is you you basically have to call in to get this request, and your static is really high, but like you basically make special requests to Control, who is like your handler, and all handlers are referred to as Control, but also every agent has their own Control operative, right? And so spending a commendation in this way is sort of like being like, listen, come on, I'm good. Like, I'm good for it. Do me this solid. And so this is someone back at home, popping bubblegum and looking at an old CRT monitor. They're like, fine, and like sends you the location.
It's Agent Duke, who is the specific... He's
Yes.
my mentor, and his specific bio is that, like, he used to do this shit, and then
Yes.
something fucked up, so now he's just like a...
He's like, whatever, it's like a cursor mnemonic exploration. Like
Yes.
he's just like basically a scout and a Control operative, like support staff, basically.
Yeah.
And he likes doing support work. He doesn't want to be here anymore. He doesn't want to be in Blue City anymore. So yeah, that's exactly it. He pops his bubble gum and is like, shit. Yeah, and he's like, go to such and such a street in I think it's like the financial district, probably, right? Which had a cool name. What was the name of that place? Counting House, or I'll find it. Counting House, yeah, Counting House. He's like, yeah, go to the top floor of such and the 222 Counting House. He's like, go to the top floor, leave the door, turn around, open the door again, and that's your way back. And you're able to get into the car with the two of them. I think they just have Finnegan's car, which is just this old beater, rounded everything, and then like add some dents to the roundness. And you find yourself, as you drive, being followed by police, but then they break off whenever you like near the parade, and it's like a long drive because the parade route has now spiraled out into a million other things. But finally you make it, and we get the shot of like 222 Counting House, and it's this super tall building, this like old model skyscraper, 40 flights up, hard concrete, blue windows, rotating door out front with a doorman. And you have to park like down the road and walk to it because of the parade, and you have to like we get you crossing the parade quickly and then getting inside, and you see like officers are behind you keeping a tight watch. Hey, back in Bluffington, you're at the buffet.
Yeah.
Everyone's
What
at.
kind of grub is this?
It's like have you ever been to a casino buffet?
No.
I know it's like a very particular thing. A lot of
So it's got like baked ziti.
It has everything that there
Chicken
is.
fingers,
baked
scalloped potatoes.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, in the same way that the Cheesecake Factory's menu
Yes.
isn't so much a menu as a list of foods that humans have invented.
Yes, totally.
I bet there's like a shitty, chicken. Shit.
Chicken-
Any,
there's
I
like
mean, I
chicken
bet there's a bunch
parm.
of different.
There's like there's sushi right next to pizza, right next to like crab legs.
Chicken piccata. That's it. I bet there's a shitty chicken piccata.
Absolutely. And Hector has it all on his plate. He has ribs next to spaghetti, next to like some chow mein. Like it's just it's a mess. It's all like passable. It's all pretty good. It's not as good as like really good Bluff City food, but it's way better than Blue City food.
And it's a buffet.
And
We're
it's
not
a
like
buffet.
at
Yeah,
a really nice
no,
restaurant.
totally.
We're at a casino buffet.
and-
We're at an old country buffet.
Yeah, and so he I think he takes like one of the outsides. It's like a booth. It's like half a booth. Do you know what I'm talking about? Where there's like
two booth seats and two chairs.
yeah, 2 booth seats and 2 chairs, exactly that. And he takes one of the chairs.
I take a booth. Big
yeah,
choice.
it is a big choice. I think I take a chair.
It is. All right, so then Mike Truck takes the other booth seat, and he just slides in with a plate.
Hi, Mike Truck.
Hey there, Robert. And Hector looks at the two of you. Is he a personality? What's happening?
Are you whispering?
Yeah, he's whispering. And Mike
Is he
Truck
a
is just like spinning up some spaghetti.
What brings you here, Mike?
Oh, I see. Right. I was confused by the verb there, but I got it.
Oh, really? He's like, I hear the food here is great.
I heard that too, first time.
He's like, I thought you'd be staying in town a little longer. I thought we could hang out a little bit, show you around the new house. So I felt like I should just, come see what's going on over here.
Yeah.
Hector is like tapping his fingers on the table as like a sort of signal, but it's not necessarily super clear what he's trying to point out.
Is there any way to make that clearer? Is it like a
You could make it. You could make a check. You could make some sort of instinct check.
I'd make that check.
Maybe an instinct investigation check. Yeah.
I feel like that's a thing that Maggie would like notice immediately, but also
100%. Go ahead and give me a check here. 3 dice.
3d6.
So as a reminder, you can roll as many dice as you want because you're in your target heart rate.
Yeah, and I got a lot of room to breathe here, and we're kind of getting
Yeah,
down
we're
to
just-
the end of
yeah.
it here, so I'm gonna, I would
mean-
like to get this signal right, so I'm trying to. I'm worried. Like, am I being overcautious? I guess I still have that investigation, so maybe I'll go with.
And you still got. You can always do the commendation point thing.
This
if
feels
you-
like
You can on this because this is not access. This is an instinct.
Yeah.
this feels
Oh,
like an
got it.
important thing to get, right?
Yeah.
I'm deciding if I want to do 4d6 or 5d6. 5d6 almost seems like overkill
Oh.
is the thing.
You could get 30
I love
out of
this
5d6.
mechanic.
You probably won't,
Yeah,
but you could.
and also I have an
Imagine.
investigation roll, so like I can
True.
just throw an extra one in there. So
Yeah, so let's do. I think 4
Four
probably
is-
seems smart.
Okay, that's a 13.
13. Perfect. it's the most obvious signal there is. He wants you to look at Mike Truck's hands. And you do. And you realize you cannot count how many fingers he has.
Oh.
There is always another one.
That's not normal.
And he is spinning up that spaghetti.
With his fingers?
With a fork.
Okay.
And his fingers, maybe. You know?
Ugh.
Getting it all looped in there. The curators followed you to Bluffington.
This is like fucked for like several reasons, right? Because
Yeah, dog.
as far as I can tell, based on the way we're talking about Bluffington, as
Yes.
in like the world,
Yes.
magic isn't here.
No, I mean, the first bit of magic that was done was new matter was made when you entered the world, which has never happened since matter existed.
Oh, it's happened once, right? Which was Hector, right?
Hector, right, exactly. But that's what I mean, right? Like, anytime someone comes here, as far as we know, that just doesn't happen.
So like, just so we're clear in imagining this, right? Like,
Yeah. Did you...
this
Nope.
would be the equivalent of a fucking monster from Annihilation, the movie Annihilation,
Yes.
showing up in the lobby of the cinema where you've just seen Annihilation.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Have you, for people who've seen Twin Peaks, this place should feel... You know how in... God. There was a moment in Twin Peaks The Return where it goes to, like, this diner. And it is a diner that is unlike the sorts of diners we are used to. And it is, like, deeply normal. I guess there's a similar thing that happens in Fire Walk with Me, but the one that I'm thinking
Wait,
of...
is it the Back in Time diner?
It's a diner from a different... It's a different diner. It's a diner in the final episode, Keith. Do you remember the final... Did you see The Return?
Yeah, I did. I watched the whole thing.
Okay, so it's like that diner that they go to there towards the end.
Okay.
And it's like, oh, this is just a diner. Like, it
Yeah.
should... This whole place feels like that, right? Like,
yeah.
people
like
buy clothes
removed
from Old Navy
the
here.
feeling of
You know what
the
I mean?
world that-
Like,
yeah.
people pay their taxes and they hate it here in a way that they, we're never going to have the tax. Well, the IRS was the first thing in the first game, but what they were doing was trying to bust an underground bird boxing ring, whereas here what they do is like audit you, and like that is this place. It is like the bathrooms are grosser here, and so except for they're not as gross as it could get,
Right.
And so, but now there is a person here who has infinite fingers and is seemingly curious about all of this, and also is definitely scary and magic. Maybe? Like, I don't know.
Maybe magic, definitely malicious.
Certainly malicious. Certainly...
Malevolent.
Malevolent more than malicious.
Malevolent more than malicious?
I know that makes it seem worse, and it is. But malevolence can be passive in a way that maliciousness feels. Do you know what I mean? Like, malevolence, like a general malevolent force, it would be bad if he was here. But, like, I don't know that he's about to grab a knife in this moment.
Can I get up and go to the
Because of-
bathroom?
Absolutely.
Okay. Maggie excuses herself.
Yeah, yeah.
I feel the difference between malevolent and malicious.
Okay.
But I don't know that there really is one. But I know what you
know
mean.
what I mean, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I think about malevolent as being almost like an underlying wish or desire or like mode, whereas maliciousness
is an active malevolence.
This is bullshit. The thing I'm talking about is bullshit. I understand that.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
malevolence...
if we're going basic dictionary, we're talking about having or showing a wish to do evil
Yes.
versus intending or intended to do harm.
Yes, so I think that's the difference. Evil is broader than harm.
Right.
I think the curator
Yeah.
is evil. And happens to do harm sometimes in the pursuit of its
Right.
evil,
Yeah.
ends.
Although malevolent, having or showing a wish to do evil, synonyms malicious.
Yeah, of course, totally.
But yeah, they are different. Like and then the second one is spiteful, which is very different.
Yeah, totally.
So dictionaries.
Dictionaries, who knows?
Dictionaries,
Yeah. Maggie, what?
And this is the worst possible dictionary, the Google search
Yeah, fuck that
dictionary.
one. Maggie, what are you
Yeah,
doing
it's
in the
awful.
bathroom? You just getting your head straight? What are you?
Getting a can of air freshener spray.
Okay. Great. Oh, good. Mwah. I love it. I love it. You find it in like a janitor closet somewhere.
I mean, it's the ladies' room, so they might just have one. Like, that's just a thing in bathrooms sometimes.
Sure.
Maybe a closet.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, you find some. No big deal. We just see you do that, and then we're going to cut back into Blue City. You've crossed the street, you've gone up the elevator. The elevator is definitely playing a holiday. Like, in fact, it's the same song that's playing outside, and it's in time. Like, we lose the audio of the outside parade song, which is, what is it right now? What's a Christmas song we haven't used yet?
Well, we're now in Buffington, right?
Well, no, I'm talking about in Blue. I'm back at the
in
Blue City.
Okay,
Yeah. What was the parade? It was like.
It was like Silent Night. We played Silent
We did that.
Night.
We did.
Oh, Tenenbaum was one.
We played O Tannenbaum. Oh, what if it's like that fucking Carol of the Bells?
Did we not do that one yet?
Oh,
we not
that's
do
an
Carol of the
elevator
Bells?
review one, yeah.
Okay, well, we do that, and it's like it's being performed by the band outside, and then it dips away because you go through the lobby, and you get into the elevator, and it picks back up at exactly the right moment. And it's just, but it's like the Muzak version, and you go up to the top floor. And the four of you are like, you get your Mass Effect elevator ride, you know? And actually, I think the second you get the elevator door closes, your communicator rings, Chris.
Oh, great. I don't know that it has like caller ID, so I think I just answer it.
Yeah. This is Agent Ward. When you reach the top, simply wait there for my arrival. Do you understand?
Is there a problem?
This is a direct order. Simply wait for my arrival. Do you understand?
What's going on?
I understand.
Good.
What are they saying?
Click.
Who is that?
It was Orson Welles.
Yeah, fucking Orson Welles showed up. That's amazing.
This is Leslie Strada. This was Agent Ward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Who we've both met before.
Yes, 100%. Yeah.
I think Chris says, it was Ward. She wants us to wait for her, but if you guys go through the door, I'll wait.
Is that safe?
If it isn't,
Chris.
it probably is, but I have less to worry about.
Bullshit, you have less to worry about.
What's happening? I'm sorry. What's happening? It's Finnegan. Who's Ward?
Oh.
Achilles puts his hand on Finnegan's shoulder. He's like, don't worry about it. It's agency stuff.
Yeah, it's just my supervisor. No big concern.
50th floor.
Bosses.
And there's you're on the 50th floor of this office building, and there's the fire escape thing, or the sort of signage that says stairs this way that lead you right up to the roof. And they take you to a long stairwell that goes from one side of the building over to the other. So they're it's a low sloping staircase to cover that much distance. Do you know? It's 100 steps to go up one floor. This low, long, weird, awkward staircase that goes to a door on the roof that popped up. It's the door. You open the door and you'll be outside, and you climb it. I'm guessing. No reservations at this point.
Hand on holster.
Yeah. And so you open the door and you're on the roof, and you can look all around here, and you can see. I think at this point, when you look around, you all see that the curator balloons are gone. But the parade is bigger than ever, and it's beginning to link up. I think maybe at this point you can kind of see the lights of the parade. I think maybe the hailing has stopped at this point, and there are spotlights on all of these sections of the parade, and you can see that it is it has made the symbol of infinity in the city streets below. And the door's closed, and now you have decisions to make.
What is the view of Bluff City? What is the view of Blue City from this altitude?
It is you can see all the distinct neighborhoods very clearly, but they also seem to go you can see the boardwalk going to the horizon, on the western shore, up to the as far north as you can see, even as it becomes just like sand and beach community, so to speak. The boardwalk keeps going forever. And like likewise, it's almost like it's a fractal city. You can see into Counting House, the district you're in, and you would never stop counting buildings. But you can also look higher and look past it forever, and into the next district where the thickets are. And like similarly there, if you started tracing any given street, it might go forever. And the other thing is like it's the same. It's the same 100 buildings over and over and over again. The same dozen buildings in each neighborhood repeated over and over and over again. And that's
like when a
very
crowd
clear.
is duplicated?
Yes, exactly like that. And you can see that here. And it's the same thing with the parade, right? Like there's a degree to which it's the same repeated parade. It looks like it's the same video game asset plopped down again and again and again.
Okay, Chris.
I think that you all should go. She said that I should wait. And if it's a problem, it'll be my problem.
She's gonna kill you.
You don't know that.
She's gonna kill you. Do you want my gun?
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, I'm prepared to give you my gun, but I don't think you should stay.
Well, she shouldn't kill the four of us, if that's what you think.
No, God, no. I think we should all go through this door.
I'm not doing that yet.
Why?
I'm gonna try to find the tunnel. I didn't deserve to be in that car if I left this to you. And once you're safe, you're safe.
And then you're gonna go back? And try and make your way to Bluffington?
If I can, or I can keep Ward from finding them, or whatever else.
How are you gonna get off the roof?
You know that like this is a window of time, and in an
Sure,
hour,
okay.
this door will just be a door back downstairs.
Yeah.
Also,
Okay,
there's probably like a window cleaner thing, elevator.
Yeah, like a
Window
fuck, what
washer.
are those things called? Like bosun's cradle?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, if I go through this door and I take these two back with me, I won't be able to contact you other than by writing, which will take a while. So I won't know what happens on this roof in the next 45 minutes. Right?
If I can go home, I'll find you immediately. I'll always try to go back.
And if you can't?
Then I'll keep trying.
Okay. And I hand her my gun. Anybody you want me to talk to? Any messages that you want, passed on?
Listen to the radio. If you can get online, tell everyone else to too. And I think that's it. Tell your daughter I said hi.
Okay. Well, stay safe. Keep your eyes on the prize. I might see you someday. And I open the door.
There's a stairwell that is incredibly deep. It's only going. It is going actually from the top of this building to the bottom of this building, but it's doing it straight, so it's almost a ladder.
Jesus Christ, Chris?
It's a lower building than it was before.
Fuck.
But it's still like a 10-floor ladder.
Okay. You good with this, Finnegan?
Is it home?
Yeah, I think so. If we can get down to the bottom of this.
Slides past you and starts going down.
Right. After you, Apollo.
Apollo follows. And so do you. And the door closes. And then the door opens. And Leslie Strada in her pea coat steps out.
Chris is standing there with her gun and her scarf and her like weird knitted dress uniform. And seems calm. Agent Ward, I waited.
Where are the others?
They're on their way.
Are they? Who all?
Does it matter?
Yes, very much. The border is not something to play with.
It's Florence. It's Florence and Apollo, but
Apollo. Achilles Apollo. The Whitaker boy.
yeah, I've heard he's gone back and forth, so I didn't think. I'm sorry,
There are
Agent.
special dispensations for that paperwork. You do not have the... Where is Agent Hurd?
He's he's pursuing the tape.
This is a lie.
This is such a lot.
Give me the roll. Give me an instinct roll. This is risky. 4 dice.
Oh my god.
Oh, wow.
Whew. That's a
It's a
7.
fucking 7.
That's a failure. Static goes up. You say he's pursuing the tape, and then all at once across the city, the tape starts playing on more walls everywhere, which is impossible because there is one tape. But maybe you built a device that can spread that thing further away.
Napster.
Maybe you brought home something, huh?
I said Napster.
You built Napster. Hector Who's solution to Blue City is Napster.
Hexter.
It's Hexter. You got it. That's a witch's version of Napster. So you can...
You can't
so wait,
own
wait,
a
wait, wait,
movie,
wait.
man.
You have intuition. I'm going to let you use that here to lie. Unless there's a better one for what that would be.
And is that another second?
That's one
static
die. No. It would be 1 die to add to this. So you can roll 1d6 more to see if you fail or succeed.
Wait.
Okay.
So you've got to get a 6. There's no other. It has to be a 6.
A 5 would do it. No, she's at 7.
Oh, right. It's
11.
12.
11 is the number.
Oh,
11 is the number.
11 is the number. Yeah.
I thought it was 12.
4.
Okay.
You'd be fine.
Okay.
4, 5, or 6. That's a
That's
3.
That's a 3.
That's a 3, which means your intuition, your instinct drops to 2. Because it's risky.
I dropped it from 4 to 3 the last time I failed.
Oh, like just now, a second ago.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Okay, then you're fine. Then yeah, that's fine. She sees right through you. She's like, he isn't pursuing the tape, is he? And she closes the door behind her. You were always a risky agent, Ryder. I should have never brought you on board. And she goes to reach for her weapon. She goes to reach inside of her jacket.
Yeah, I think if Chris is going to fail anywhere, it's going to be on the top of this building with the video, around her. But I think that she just, raises the gun, right? And is you knew my priorities the day we met. I wanted to do good work with the concern, but I'm still going to do good.
You're not coming back. And she pulls out a pistol and takes aim. What do you do?
Are we just pointing our guns at each other at this point?
Yeah. If you haven't reacted yet, yes.
Um,
She is going to pull her trigger. This is. I'm giving you a window before she
She's
shoots
aiming,
you.
but you've already aimed.
Right.
Right,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna roll to try to shoot her. I don't know if I'm
Okay.
going to.
I don't know if you were going to try to flee. I don't. Or to give you an option here to you have space to do stuff, but
Didn't the last time we quote unquote, fought Leslie Strider, it begin with her crashing into us?
yes, with a
Yeah.
car.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So this is a little more stagey. We're
A
doing
little more.
This is an improvement. One
Yeah,
step of an improvement.
In some ways, absolutely.
But yeah,
This is a tough roll to make. Allie.
force?
It's force, which is 2. You have to get an
You have
11
my
on
gun
2d6.
as-
Oh,
you get a
you're right.
plus 1?
You have a plus 1. You have a plus 1, so it's 3d6.
Okay.
Does the fact that these are... Oh, sorry, go ahead, Ali.
Can I just put in a commendation to make it a 4d6?
You cannot. That only works on access rolls.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. I'm going to double check again just to be 100% sure.
Again, if I get shot here or this doesn't go well, I'm so fine with it. I just want to make the roll to see how it goes.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, commendation. You may spend commendation points to push through requests for information or equipment. While in Blue City, every commendation point spent in this matter adds +1 to any access logistics or access intelligence roll. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, unfortunately. Unfortunately, that is not the case.
Is the fact that these are Hector's bullets instead of sleeves, does that have any effect?
No, I already said it didn't have any mechanical effect. As much as
I just thought... Okay, fair.
What?
I don't think you said mechanical
you said no
effect.
stat change.
You said it didn't add stat change, yeah. But...
Right, well, that would be this. That would be
right.
this. It would,
right, I didn't know if this was a sort of a silver bullet situation.
You know...
I don't understand
There's a
why
way
he
of
did
doing
it.
this, right?
To be honest, I don't understand
Because
why
he's a fucking weirdo.
Because he's a
great.
weirdo. Why was he doing any of his shit? Because, like, don't trust the bullets from a different agent. You know? Like...
There's like a way we could play this, right? Which is that Christine buys really hard or bought really hard into the infinite love thing.
Yeah.
And I think the idea of having a gun loaded with bullets belonging to the voice on the radio is good.
Yeah, there's a world in which it didn't give any mechanical effect to Florence, but to Chris Andrews,
totally.
It does. These are Hector's bullets.
Well, it's that great image, right, of the Orthodox priest blessing the tanker of holy water?
Yes, yeah.
In that these are bullets from radio personality Hector Who.
Yeah, I like it. 46. Okay. And if you miss, goddamn do you miss.
Yeah, so we're going to see. That's an 18.
18? You didn't even
Wow.
Jesus Christ.
And of course you didn't even need it. They're fucking bullets.
They're bullets. They're regular bullets. They're not
metal
special
from
bullets.
a gun.
Oh my god. And you shoot her. And that's it. Like, we're not getting into a gunfight on the roof. There's a loud bang. And static hits 20.
Great.
Why does static hit 20? Because
you've killed an agent.
Oh, fuck.
A fairly important one.
Uh-huh. And your phone starts ringing again, obviously.
I guess I answer it.
Do you?
It depends on who it's from.
You don't have
but I don't know who
ID.
it's from.
You answer it, and what you hear is what's about to happen. So you have the air freshener. What do you do?
So, I think Maggie takes a second in the bathroom. I think she unbuttons the top of her... I've been imagining her in, like, one of those really nice... I think I might have mentioned this before, but, like, a totally, like, His Girl Friday style skirt suit combo with, like, a nice jacket and, like, a shirt with, like, a... I guess I said she had a pussy bow blouse. So maybe she... No, I don't want her to untie that. That's too cool. I think she just takes the... she has the air freshener and she carries it kind of like in Hitman when you have a gun and you're just like sliding past someone who might notice it. So just kind of like sort of carrying it on the side of her body as she walks back. I think she lights a cigarette. Like she puts a cigarette between her lips, pulls out her lighter and lights it. This is probably a no smoking establishment if this is the real... Well, it's attached to a casino. I don't know what American casino smoking indoors rules are at this stage in time.
They've changed.
I know that a few years ago you could still smoke inside of Mohegan Sun, which is a casino that I'm relatively close to.
It, like, mostly doesn't matter because she's doing this even if there's a sign up or not.
Yeah.
So she sort of walks back to the table. She's got the cigarette hanging between her lips. And then she pulls up the air freshener can and pulls up the lighter. And I'm going to roll to see what happens to Mike Truck, I guess. Because she is...
I don't think so. We're not in Blue City or Bluff City anymore. What do you think
IRL,
happens?
this is like murder, right?
Yeah.
This is attempted murder.
Yeah.
Look.
You're an agent. You know how to do this. You do it. What is the conversation at the table? Like, we actually just get you getting the you getting the canister, right? And then we cut back to
This is the nice
Mike
guy's
Truck.
cut of this. right?
Yeah, 100% Herd and Hector eating food and like talking as you walk through the background, slowly getting closer and closer. Not slowly in a menacing way, slowly just because like the bathroom is at the far end, so it's like you moving past a bus boy and all that.
Bumping
as the camera's,
into someone and jostling their like tray of dirty dishes and being like, "Oh, I'm so sorry."
Exactly.
Excuse me.
Exactly. So yeah, Mike Truck is like, it's like spaghetti and ice cream in the same place. Huh. And Hector is like, yeah, you don't see that every day, do you, Herd?
And bread pudding too.
And bread pudding too. And then Maggie is here, and
these boots are made for walking is on the fucking radio.
Uh-huh. Yeah. God. And then people are screaming, and the fire alarm goes off, and it's, chaos. No one understands what's happening. Hector jumps up. I don't know if we see it, right? We just get cut to black. And then when we cut back up, where are you all?
A different casino?
Yeah. Yeah.
We are still hungry.
I'm not.
I don't think anyone would be hungry. There's an episode of Sawbones that's about the Home Alone movies and the medical realities of them. A thing they mention is that scene where one of the guys gets a blowtorch to the head. If you sustain that for a few seconds, as happens in that movie, technically your skull is supposed to melt, which is not a thing I knew bone could do. I thought it just, dusted.
Wow, hey, listeners, isn't it cool how the last 15 seconds of the podcast was just silence? There was just no audio in the last 15 seconds. That's wild, and you don't need to worry about it.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I'm just
please
saying
continue.
no one wants
Just
more short ribs, okay?
No.
Probably.
No.
Well, I don't think, I think a blowtorch is a lot hotter than a
This.
lighter.
Sure.
It's gone quiet again.
Sure.
Wow, I can't hear anything. Jack, it's so nice to have you on the podcast. How are you doing today? How are you today?
Thank you.
I heard that on another podcast I really like.
Does the curator melt or burn like a
The
person?
curator
or a
is
person?
dead. The curator is dead. The curator here is a person, and they are dead.
Okay.
Person with weird fucking hands, but a dead person.
Yeah, totally. And you, presumably just find your way out of this casino. There's probably tape of this thing happening. I don't think you hitmanned the fucking VCR tape on the way out. But yeah, we get you at, maybe it's just at slots in a different casino, and there's just loud racket of slot room of the slots hitting in the casino on the casino floor, and Hector is definitely smoking at this point too, and is like, all right, well, welcome to Bluffington, I guess. This is going to be all right. 3 of us, we can build something. Chris, you can find your way downstairs.
Yeah.
I think we get a lot of what follows just from a long driving sequence of you getting back to the canal, and you can hear all of their conversations this way. You're just permanently listening to them on your device at this point. And you find your way back to the canal, and you're trying to figure out where they went to. And you can see there's something that must have floated out at the back of the car, a photo from the photo booth, or something. And then you can see the tire tracks when he turned around in the canal. And you can see all right, I think we just get you raising your windows and then driving underwater. And then I think we cut back one last time to Herd and Maggie and Hector at the slot machines, and he pulls out one of those little flip-top notepads with lined paper and the spiral binding at the top, and he flicks it open, and you see that he has a bunch of pages of various potential hierarchies all drawn out, different versions of the new organization he might build. And in one motion, he rips them all out, and on a fresh page, he draws a new one, with 4 names at the top. Hector, Herd, Maggie, Gale, drawing a line under each as if they all run a different division. And then his pen pauses and he taps it on the notepad once, twice, before dragging it back to the top and writing one more name out of faith or hope. Chris. And then the camera slides back from Hector's notebook like it's being pulled away on a dolly, down the casino hallway, into the elevator, down the stairs, out onto the bustling boardwalk as people walk past it, down a ramp into the streets, past someone handing out flyers, down into a shopping center, then, still going backwards, up the side of a hill as a familiar car emerges from a tunnel. And there it is, Bluffington Beach, Atlantic City, New Jersey, in all its grime and glory.
Del carnaval, 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 del carnaval.
The first season of Bluff City was conceived and performed by Alicia Akampora, Keith J. Carberry, Andy Clare, Jack DeKeith, Janine Hawkins, Art Martinez-Tebel, Andrew Lee Swan, and Austin Walker. It was produced by Alicia Akampora with music by Jack DeKeith. The art was by Craig Sheldon. The games played were Fiasco by Jason Morningstar, Inspectors by Jared Sorensen, Noirlandia by Evan Rowland, Action Movie World by Ian Williams, Worldwide Wrestling RPG by Nathan D. Paletta, Masks by Brendan G. Conway, and Lacuna, also by Jared Sorensen, with additional mechanics from Tech Noir by Jeremy Keller. Bluff City will return.